platforms. What's it about? Goodness, we're doing this for you, our superb listeners. You're going to be astounded. Now you may ask me, what's on offer? There will be incredulous stories written by Mathematical 7, stories from his archives, and exclusive live and recorded conversations with sports personalities from around the world. Not only this, we will take a deep look into sports issues in Africa and beyond. This is the dot to dot, where once you connect the dots, you get the full picture of this new, exciting program.
What?
As usual, there's going to be great music from Eagle 7 Sports Radio Station, 103.7 FM. Come on, set your dial to this frequency. Stay tuned to Eagle 7 Sports Radio Station, 103.7 FM.
This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 103.7 FM.
What's debuting every...
Fly, then you shall fly with us on air peace.
Good morning. Welcome to 90 Minutes with Mathematical. Well, I'm very, very glad to be back this weekend on my regular beat. I have been away for over 3 weeks, and in that period, I could not produce this show. And in that time also, several things happened, of course, in the world. What everybody knows is that the world is in deep trouble. Crises everywhere. And at the same time, several persons that are close to me passed on within that period, including my first cousin, Folahanmi Odegbami, the National Institute for Sports, and my former coach, Chief Adegboye Onigbide. Well, I'll be talking about him later in the show. But I'm just so glad to be back, however. And this morning, we shall be looking at the world through events that are developing everywhere, including in Nigeria, particularly in the southwest of Nigeria, the home of between 40 and 50 interesting guests this morning that shall be sharing breakfast with me. Let me confess that this must be one of the most difficult programs I have ever prepared to do because, one would not want to affect or offend any sensibilities, and these are very sensitive issues, particularly the issue we'll be discussing this morning. But I have my editorial, which I'll be reading. You will find that out. You will find out about that editorial when I start to read, but it is also available in hard copy in national newspapers, including The Guardian, The Vanguard, Complete Sports, and Niger Times, all this morning. The last two are online, so you can go and read afterwards. But I'll be doing that from the studio this morning in Wasimi. Wasimi is beautiful, cool, calm. As I said, I'm so glad to be back. You'll be able to join in our conversation later in the show. Remember the telephone numbers, 0700 2255 1037. And the second one is 081 278284 97. Once again, this is Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM, and I'm coming to you live from the studios in Wasimi, Ewekuru local government, Ogun State, Nigeria. We'll be going on a break. When we come back, I'll take my editorial this morning, which is a dedication to my coach, late Chief Adegboye Onigmide. After the break.
Hello, I'm Frank Edo, and I implore you to always listen to Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7, because that is where you can fly high.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, tell me more.
Hello, what station are you listening to right now?
What?
This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio. The best sports, the best station.
Yeah! Crank up the radio!
Best for you.
Welcome back. This editorial you would find in, again, 4 national newspapers, including the Vanguard, Guardian, Complete Sports, Niger Times. It is titled, The Onigmide That I Knew, My Own Humble Tribute. I was one of many that did not like Chief Festus Onigmide. That's how he was referred to at the time. When I first encountered him half a century ago, around the year 1976, he came in from the blue. He was not known in the football circles of the old Western region, or any football circle for that matter. He had no known pedigree, either in playing the game or in coaching it. He did not exist in the football firmament until he was recruited by the Oyo State Sports Council as one of several coaches to drive grassroots football development in the very ambitious new Oyo State in 1976. He was the least known of that generation of coaches that mostly emerged from the cadre of former national team players, Ayo Adeniji, Jide Johnson, Olu Onogorua, Bayo Ali. They were all renowned ex-international players. Chief Festus Onigmide started to attract some attention in Ibadan when he was posted to coach Water Corporation FC, a team made up of players mostly from the academicals cadre. They were a constant threat to IICC Shooting Stars FC, the club that was being promoted as the counter movement of the Yoruba people to Rangers FC of Enugu, the team from the east of River Niger that emerged from the Civil War. It was a deliberate, well-planned strategy by the Igbo to use football as a soft power tool to lead defeated Biafrans back into the mainstream of life in Nigeria by rising to the apex of the only sport that occupied a special place in the head and heart of all Nigerians. Chief Onigmide was an object of dislike only because the threat posed by Water Corporation under him was real and serious. The matches between the two clubs in Ibadan were wars. His posting to Water Corporation was not intended to make life difficult for Shooting Stars in Ibadan and to produce another champion. The city could not accommodate 2 champions without affecting the sponsoring spirit behind Shooting Stars. Shooting Stars, they called it. All the other clubs in Oyo State were unofficially considered feeder teams, their best players always gravitating to shooting. So despite the acute rivalry between them, I cannot recall Water Corporation defeating IICC Shooting Stars more than once in the encounters between them, even with Coach Onigmide as the coach. It took a twist of fate for Chief Onigmide's fortune and his relationship with Ibadan to change and for him to move from the shadows into the sunlight of coaching. It all started in 1976. ICC Shooting Stars won the league as well as the African Cup Winners' Cup that year. Rangers of Enugu were FA Cup winners and qualified to play in the 1977 Africa Cup Winners' Cup. ICC had to choose between representing Nigeria in the Champions League or defending their continental title. They chose to forfeit the Champions League opportunity, surrendering it to sister club Water Corporation from Oyo State, third placed on the league table. So that's how Water Corporation FC came from nowhere to play in the African Club Championship of 1977. The responsibility fell on Chief Onigmide to coach the team. He had great young players in the squad. Under his guidance, the Ibadan club got to the quarterfinals of the championship. It was an awesome performance by the club, and Nigerians noted the work of the pilot, Chief Onigmide. In 1982, when Nigerian football was in crisis following the abysmal performance of the Green Eagles at the AFCON in Libya, the position of chief coach of the national team was advertised. Chief Onigmide, along with many others, applied. The interviews became the platform for Chief Onigmide to display his intellectual skills and depth. His eloquence, his presentation, and the quality of his responses to the questions asked blew away all competition. The technical committee that conducted the tests had no choice but to hand over that exalted position to a deserving Festus Onigmide. The big question on the lips of most football followers in the country was, who is Onigmide? The man answered by changing his name. It was a big transformation from Festus Onigmide, the man from Modakeke, a former artist, an actor, and a member of a traveling Yoruba theater group in the old Western Nigeria, a secondary school teacher and games master, a coach that took Water Corporation FC to the fringes of Africa's most coveted club championship trophy in his very first attempt, to a new man, a new coach to handle Nigeria's national football team. The man declared that thenceforth he should be called and addressed with his new and full cultural identity, Chief Adegboye Onigmide. That's how he was reborn, and his meteoric rise in football coaching began. The rest of his story is in well-documented history. He took the national team, the Green Eagles, to the Africa Cup of Nations in 1984 in Côte d'Ivoire, gave many young stars a chance in the team, and returned in second place, the first Nigerian coach to achieve that feat. When he returned to Oyo State after his 2-year stint in the national team, he had become a national hero and a toast of the Ibadan people. His sins of coaching Water Corporation were quickly forgotten. And the fans had no difficulty handing over the coaching of Shooting Stars FC, league champions of that year, 1983, and qualifier for the 1984 African Club Championship, to him. He accepted the challenge to lead Shooting Stars FC to its biggest challenge also. He coached the team all the way to the finals of the 1984 Champions Cup. The team lost to Zamalek FC of Egypt in a match destined by the elements not to be won by ICC Shooting Stars FC. He later became the club's general manager and changed the name of the club to Shooting Stars Sports Club, 3SC, a name I believe that has robbed the original Shooting Stars FC of something. Almost 2 decades later, in 2002, he was recalled again to lead Nigeria's national team to the 2002 Korea-Japan World Cup. That assignment was an adventure for Chief Onigmide. It revealed many other sides and skills of the man. I was in close alliance with him through that period before and after the World Cup. That he became an instructor and member of several study groups for both CAF and FIFA was no surprise. When he talked football, everyone listened with attention. On the field of training or play, Chief Adegboye Onigmide was not your usual coach. There was something different about his style, his methodology, his team tactics, and his training sessions. From watching him at work, many have doubted the high quality of his coaching. Yet, beneath the ordinary exterior of his coaching methods are records of accomplishments that cannot be denied or diminished. Until his passage this past week, he was one of Nigeria's most resourceful football personalities. His views and thoughts on football development were always to the indisputable point. His conduct was impeccable. His self-confidence was uncanny and infectious. He had a way of transferring his confidence to his players and of taking them to new heights in self-belief and in performance. Chief Adegboye Onigmide lived a long, fruitful, and mostly fulfilled life. He always wanted focus on football development rather than football competitions. A wish that never manifested in the manner he wanted till he passed on last week. Too bad. As he returns to our Creator, on behalf of all players that went through him, and even those that didn't, I wish him a peaceful journey back home. Join me after the break.
Eagle 103.7 FM, the station that brings you excitement, the station that's epic, the station that takes you high to the sky like an eagle.
Welcome back. This is 90 Minutes with Mathematical, coming to you live from the studios of Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM. That's all the football we'll be discussing this morning. Now we are discussing other very, very important matters. As I said, this is a very difficult program, even for me to handle. I have two very interesting persons, supreme activists. I describe them as socio-cultural warriors and ambassadors. But today on the show, I want to remind them they are not representing their organizations. They are representing their persons. Let me use this opportunity to welcome my very good brother, an architect, Akinola George. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chief Odegbami.
Very good. I like your red cap. It looks like mine. It's like both of us are going on the protest this morning. The way we are looking with our caps. And of course, I also have with me, not in our own cap, but in his cultural attire, full cultural attire, another great socio-cultural warrior of the Yoruba race, an evangelist himself, one whose surname, comes also from my own area in Wasimi here. We have our own Adeshoko. But here we have evangelist Adekule Adeshoko. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief. How are you today?
Very, very good. You are looking fresh and handsome and relieved. And this is contrary to the feelings that, we all have all over the world, I tell you. There's apprehension in the air. Nobody is sure what's going to happen next. And we are not exempt in Nigeria here from the things that are happening everywhere else. And we are just wondering, where did all of this go wrong? Well, in Nigeria, we don't know whether it is self-inflicted or whether it is as a product of external forces or whatever it is. But this morning, I was reading reports from Ondo State of kidnappings and killings and bombings. And there was an advertised poster where the affected family were actually asking the public to make financial contributions so that they can pay a ransom. It is frightening development. So my question this morning, which I want us to handle delicately, is that, look, the crisis we've been hearing about for so long, particularly in the northeast of Nigeria, northwest of Nigeria, in the north of Nigeria, and there are so many reasons adduced for this that we have not solved, have moved slowly and steadily into to the south of Nigeria, In this case, to the southwest. And there were reports this morning. How real is it? How real is this southward movement of kidnappers and robbers and terrorists and so on and so forth? We want our people to be aware of it. You people have been working on this thing for so many years. So just tell us, how real is it? Let me start with architect. Architect, how real is this? Truly, let our people at home know from your own experiences.
Thank you, Chief.
From your experiences, personal experiences. I want to hear what you know, what you have seen.
Well, this thing will baffle anyone who has not been following the history and the trajectory of the development of Nigeria. From this evolution when it was amalgamated, went to disparate areas of the present-day Nigeria were amalgamated to form one unified Nigeria. Again, it will surprise anyone if you have not been following the history of the Sokoto Caliphate.
No, before we get there, I know we will come there, but I'm just asking, how real is it today from your own experiences? Don't go into history, your own personal experience. How real is it today, the dangers that we face of this southward migration of bandits and kidnappers and so on and so forth? Your personal
experience. It's as real as anything. It's as real as flesh and blood. People are dying. People are being amputated. People are being raped. Communities are being vandalized.
In the southwest, here?
Yeah, in the southwest. In Yoruba land, because Yoruba land extends beyond the southwest. In Yoruba land, a lot of arson, a lot of criminal conduct of foreign elements who are defined and identified. So it's as real as daybreak. There is no way that we can deny it, that it's happening. People are dying. It's on video. It's everywhere. So we shouldn't deceive ourselves that, this is something that is out of. It's happening. It's real. And we in Yoruba land must define a strategy to curtail it and end it.
Very good.
Smash it.
Very good. I saw a video of Deji Oshibogun. It was shot by Deji Oshibogun. And it showed, some trailers that were accosted on the, somewhere in the Southwest. And in those trailers were people, from an unknown destination, young people who were migrating southwards to this part of the country. And they didn't know where they were coming from. They had no idea where they were going, what they were going to do, and so on and so forth. So let me come to Evangelist. In Nigeria, it's free. Anybody can go anywhere they like. Anybody can go anywhere. There's no law that says you cannot migrate somewhere. So for over a decade, we've had crisis in the northeast of Nigeria. Young people were affected and so on and so forth. And we started to see this influx, this migration of refugees from even the northeast of Nigeria down south. And they were coming in convoys. What could we have done about it? What can we do about it? How does that reflect in what is happening now in the southwest of Nigeria? What was your own experience, particularly because I know you people have been on the field? Evangelist Adishokon, just tell us into your personal experience.
Well, we have been on it for some time now. Honestly, Nigerian is not getting it right. Our constitution brought all those things to us, because there's nowhere in the world where you just cross the border from one place to the other with mountain of people and arms unchecked. That is exactly what is happening to us. The Constitution of Nigeria allows people to move here, there, and there, unchecked.
How can we check? How could we have checked people moving, for example, from Maiduguri to Ibadan? How could you? Would the Constitution have been able to do to stop people from moving from Maiduguri to Ibadan? There was crisis in Maiduguri, and people were running away from there. That's just an example. An example.
Okay, the Constitution I am talking about is this amalgamation Constitution anyway. Because if we have been operating on regional basis as we are before, it is not possible for people to move from Maiduguri down to Lagos unchecked, because we will have our own border secured. In this case, the borders are not secured because anybody can just cross from anywhere to anywhere. So that is what I mean.
Okay.
So it is constitutional fault. If they have prepared that constitution the way 1959 constitution was prepared, could have been a different thing. The 1959 constitution gives us autonomy to operate quite very well on our own, secure our base. But in this case, in this so-called federal something, we are no longer in charge of our own home. That gives the strangers an opportunity to move down to our place unchecked. So that is it.
Absolutely. Well, Akinola, your thoughts, because I see that you two want to express something about that. I'm particularly interested in the experiences. I just heard from Evangelist now, and it is so true. It is so true.
Your freedom to swing your hand ends where my nose begins. Or there's a constitution that says that people can move from one part of the country to the other. Your freedom to swing your hand ends where my nose begins. with the moment you begin to swing your hand anyhow, and you know my face in the vicinity, then you are committing assault. So that is this simple explanation of what's going on now. Some part of the country, you say you are one Nigeria, some part of the country decides to wage war on another part of the country. Because that's what it is, unless we want to deceive ourselves. A part of the country has decided to wage war against another part of the country. The northwest, northeast, and some part of the ISIS people from the Levant, foreigners, to wage war against some part of Nigeria.
Against Nigeria as a whole. I don't think it's
against Nigerians, yes. Against Nigerians. I can tell you of a fact, because Chief Odegbami, you are telling us, let's talk about socio-cultural, the socio-political angle and whatever. We have to call a spade, not an agricultural implement. Call it by its name. These people want to overwhelm, eliminate us and seize our land for whatever purposes, Islamic purposes, political purposes, whatever. But the aggression is clear.
Okay. There are two things now we have mentioned.
Murder, pillage, burn, kill, maim people is clear. So
there are two issues.
We should have our own republic where we can protect our borders.
Okay.
Where we can keep away unwanted elements.
Okay. Let's just stop there for a minute. Because in listening to you, there are two issues that have come up now. One, we know that people are coming into Nigeria from other countries, neighboring countries. You said so. They are coming from Niger, from Chad, from so on and so forth. And it is obvious that we don't have manned borders. Our borders are blood. There's nothing restricting people from just coming in. And we know that our own people in Nigeria have been affected, vandalized, robbed, kidnapped, particularly in the northeast and northwest of Nigeria, by foreign people coming into the country. I saw, as I said, I saw a report by DG, and many of the people in those trucks that they found coming to the south were not your regular Nigerians. They came from somewhere else. So whereas we are talking about foreigners invading the country now, we are also talking about, even within Nigeria itself, an agenda of some sort. But where does the distinction now lie? How do we now separate the two? Because it's so important. We have a Nigeria existing today. The Nigeria exists today. Whether we want a new Nigeria or whatever it is that we want, Nigeria exists today. And people are suffering today. So how do we deal with the today? So, evangelist, your thoughts. This foreign invasion, that's one. And then the local, which we are not so sure of yet to put identity on. But the foreign invasion, let's start with the foreign invasion and then our porous borders.
Well,
because even in the southwest, we share borders with some countries in the southwest. Those borders are porous almost as those in the north. So you cannot attribute everything to
our political game players. They have once come out and tell us that they brought all these people in the first place to secure their election.
Okay.
In respect to Muhammadu Buhari and somebody, I think the governor of Igawa also, came out and said it openly in the national television that they brought these people from Chad, from Niger, because of the election, because they have the fear that Jonathan, as of that time, may not likely to hand over the government to Buhari. That is why they brought all these bandits in. And before then, we had the experience of this Boko Haram coming in.
Very good.
Then the Boko Haram are the mixture of foreigners and even the indigenous of Nigeria, particularly people from Zamfara, Sokoto, and so forth. At that level, the Southwest was looking at it as, look, this is not that matter. They will settle themselves. Unknowingly, that we will soon smell the same rubbish. And when the election was won by any means by Buhari administration there, to send these people back to where they come from, they can't help it again. So they declare them as a bandit. Most of them now living with us. They scatter them all over Nigeria, either southwest, southeast, everywhere. They scatter them to go and live in the bush. After all, you've been living in the bush before. So to live in the bush is not strange to all those boys. They live in the bush. So they started mastering the areas in Southwest. And since then, we have been shouting to the Southwest governor, this thing you are looking is going to become a thorn on our neck. When you get to Ibadan, majority of the people riding Okada are these people. The same thing in Lagos. The same thing in Ondo, the same thing in Ekiti. So, which means these people are already everywhere in Southwest. So now it has become a problem. They have gained the confidence that they have even writing letter to us like they do in Borno. They were writing letter that we are going to attack, we are going to surround, we are going to kill, we are going to maim, we are going to rape, we are going to take your wife. So in all this, just like my friend, architect has said, it is right time for us to gather ourselves because we cannot be looking carelessly until these people round us up, because that is their mission. And that's not going to be accepted. And that is why most of us do not even believe in one Nigeria. Unfortunately, the present governors and the president and all those appointment achievers of Yoruba land, they are blind. They don't see anything. We've been shouting, we've been calling, we've been talking to them. None of them is ready to shift base. They just believe in chop your own and go.
Because maybe they don't see what we see. They don't see what you experience. They don't really know that these things are really happening. See, there was a time I read somewhere that, in Yoruba land, for example, the towns are very close together. 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers apart. You will find one town or one village and so on. And that formed part of the security architecture. You knew where everybody was, even in the forests and so on. But suddenly, we have swaths of Southwest Forest Reserves, huge swaths of Southwest Forest Reserves, and you don't find any Southerners there. All the young people have left, and those places have become virgin territory for other people to occupy, and they are marrying your women and settling down and so on. And of course, one sad thing which I want Akinola to talk about is that some of our own traditional leaders, which we have in our investigation, we have found, particularly in our own association, they actually are part of the ownership of what brings in the Southwest. Some of our traditional rulers, if you know what I'm talking about, George Akinola, why have our forest reserves, which we knew so much about, why have we given up all of those places and turned them into habitats for, foreign marauders? Why can't we protect our own on our own? It is here.
Is that to me, Chief?
Yes, it's for you.
Hello?
It's for you. Yes.
Yeah. Well, nobody gave out the forest to anybody in one way or the other, the way it's been interpreted. This is an invasion. This is an invasion of very hostile people who have come into our ancestral space to wreak havoc. Well, let me explain something to you, please, and to the general audience. A forest reserve or a forested area, is very important for the ecosystem to be able to thrive properly. So we are not building everywhere. We keep certain places as virgin as possible without interfering with the ecosystem, so that fauna and flora can grow easily and thrive and enrich the environment. So it is not a mistake on our part that we left our forests like that. Of course, there used to be forest guards. My uncle was a forest guard in those days. And they used to take care of the forest. So this is part of who we are. This is part of our geography. This is part of our microclimatic features. So when some other people, some hostile elements there to now come into our space and decide to go and be residing inside those places, it's not out of carelessness of our kings or our government. So
who do you blame?
There's an invasion. Who do I blame? I blame the fact that we're in Nigeria. I blame the fact that we are unduly yoked with horrible neighbors. I blame that, and I blame the fact that our people are not circumspect enough to know this is what to do to stop the invasion. And see, when people used to say the Yorubas have allowed a lot, when the Yorubas decide to take a stand, it has always been devastating for Nigeria. And I can give you 4 instances. 2 years into independence, the Nigerian government under the Sadana, the NPC or whatever, collaborated with the East under Azikiwe to stultify the West, and they imprisoned the leader of the West, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. 2 years into independence, mark that. So there's an agenda to stultify the West, or the Yoruba, or to stultify Yoruba land. The Yorubas did not react until 1964-65 in the Operation West Year crisis. That changed the dynamics, changed the scenario. It led to 2 coups and eventually the Civil War. Second instance, during the Agbeko year, the 1969, when the cocoa was booming, the cocoa industry was booming, they started overtaxing the farmers. And the farmers revolted. They said they don't want it. 1969 Agbeko year revolt is in every Yoruba man's memory. It was a seismic event. And because of that, a lot of things changed. They reverted back to the old taxation system and kept the farmers as they were. Number 3, 1983, NPN decided to steal the Ondo and Oyo elections. In Ondo, they installed Chief Omoguriwo in the Oyo State, they installed Chief Odoloya and whatever. And the Yorubas revolted, especially in Ondo State. There was arson, there was massive revolution. Chief Omoguriwo had to run. If he won an election, then he should be very popular. But he had to run. So the election was eventually declared in the favor of the actual winner, which was Chief Ajasin. Yoruba revolt. Lastly, when Chief Abiola was denied his mandate, he won a free and fair 1993 election. He was denied his mandate. Some people said they can't allow Yoruba to rule them. Who are you? If we occupy the same geographic space called Nigeria, anybody should be free to run and win and rule if he won. But they're not saying, out of an imperial impetus, you are saying some people cannot rule. Then they kill the man. they killed Chief Abiola, and that one led to the bloodiest, hottest revolution in Yoruba land, which we popularly call the OPC revolution. And that changed everything. Nigeria was put to a stop for 5 years. Nigeria became a pariah nation, and they decided that Nigeria finally, to resolve the problem, decided that they had to bring another Yoruba man to rule. So you see, these people are putting their hands in our mouths. They are trying to call our bluff, and when Yoruba fire starts again, it will be a shocker to all Nigerians.
Okay, don't let's talk about fire. You know, we're on public radio and so on.
A spade.
No, we will call a spade, but we won't incite anything. So let's just take it easy first.
Well,
look, I am interested.
To quote history, it isn't.
No, you have spoken well. No, you have spoken well. I want to direct us in the direction of my particular interest. Look, okay. The Yoruba, the people of the Southwest, they created, as a reaction to what was impending, they created, I knew about it, the Amotekun. We had the Agbekoya. We had the Yoruba Koya. We had so many agencies and organizations set up to take care of it. We are talking insecurity in the Southwest now, because the Southwest usually is a model for the rest of the country in a lot of ways. No, we will go to the evangelist. In a lot of ways, the Southwest leads in setting an example for the rest of the country. That's why we have deep cultural institutions. We have a rich history. You know, we have done well in spite of everything in the Southwest. So we should model these things. We started the Dawn Commission. The other sectors of the country went on and started that for economic purposes. Now we have, the commissions all over the country, and so on and so forth. So I'm interested now to know this security apparatus that we have established in the Southwest, Amotekun. Of course, we have a long history of the Agbekoya that are there to protect us. We have so many organizations like that. Why have they been ineffective to check the influx of unknown and unwanted people in the forests of the Southwest? And these are people coming from where you don't even have that kind of forest. So let's go to the evangelist. What do you think? Why have we been ineffective in checking this influx? Why? Maybe we should address that.
Well, why the Agbekoya are not very effective.
And Amotekun, not the victim.
The Amotekun are not very effective in the area of security.
Yes.
It's very simple. The people who conceive the ideal of Amotekun, the real people that conceive the idea of Amotekun, were not given an opportunity to express their idea. It was totally hijacked by the politician. And we know anything you want to do, if politicians hijack it, they use it for their purpose. You have just mentioned Agbekoya, mentioned OPC, mentioned other arms like that are ready for the security of Yoruba land. How many of them are in Amotekun? The politicians key in their recruitment towards their loyalists. So they just employ anybody, they recruit anybody anyhow into the sector.
Yeah, but these are our own people now. These are our people.
They are our own people, but they will only told the direction of the politician. It's a different ball game entirely. They cannot be given a free hand, just like Agbekoya will operate.
So the politicians are not part of who we are as a people. Is that what you are saying? The politicians, they are human beings. They are people like us. We are all part of it.
That is exactly what I've said in the earlier time. I say politician, even the Yoruba politicians, all they want to hear is, where do we get our own share today? Operation. Some people will still stand up how to embezzle that money. So now to talk of this is solemnly by the state to take out of the so-called security food and fund this security outfit. Most of those boys you see in Amotekun are not even received their January salary. Only one state among them are performing very, very wonderfully. And the marauders saw that in demand, and they don't allow that state to rest for one day. That is Ondo State. That is Ondo State. The man is a wonderful man, but his job did not even show up because these people are too much in that area. So our politician did not allow Amotekun to work very well. They don't allow it. So I don't know for what reason. I don't know what
is it
to gain out of it.
Okay, Akinola, is it about leadership now? Because we have, we are all, particularly in Yoruba land, we interrogate subjects, we look deeply at them, and then we find a way out. Is it about leadership, the kind of leaders that we have when we are talking politics? Because we are within Nigeria up till now, and these are here with us. These challenges are here. There's a poster out there asking the public to contribute money to go and pay for some ransom. No matter the grand agenda that we have, we are talking of real time problems now. Is it about leadership? Is it about the values that have been eroded in Yoruba land, where people have money, we don't know where they get the money from, and all of us want to share out of it? That's not typical of the values we know that is of Omoluabi ethos. So, Akinola, your thoughts?
Yes, please.
Is it about leadership? Is it about erosion of our values? Because we are passing the buck to other people when we should take responsibility. We should take responsibility.
Yes. But before I go into that, I would like to add a couple of thoughts to what Bashorun Adeshoko was talking about.
Please go ahead.
Concerning Amotekun. When Amotekun was set up, we were part and parcel of the process. In fact, a very important parcel of the process. And we defended it when Abubakar Malami, the then Attorney General, wanted it to fail, and he didn't want it to come into existence at all. Later, after we forced it down their throats, they now said that we couldn't carry, we didn't allow Amotekun to carry some weapons, some grades of weapons. Whereas Hisba in the north and all this vigilante in the north, they have been allowed to carry those grades of weapons. So if we have some grades of weapons that the Amotekun should carry, they will be able to rival and face these bandits and intruders on a better footing. So
has that not changed now? Are they not armed now? Are they armed now? I don't know.
They are not armed beyond carrying pump action rifles. Whereas those people are carrying AK-47, AK-49. They are carrying rocket launchers and a lot of other things. So your hand is already tied behind your back in facing an enemy that is bent on killing you, that is bent on destroying you. That's by the way, number one. Now, concerning the Omoluabi ethos and
leadership
we as Yoruba are not
taking responsibilities
that have been cultural to us, ancestral to us. The world is changing. Yoruba land is changing. A lot of values are being allowed to erode, while some are coming in, into Yoruba land, because we are not allowed to even continue to redefine and define our values.
Who is stopping you from defining your values in Yoruba land? Who is stopping you? No. Northerners cannot stop you from doing what you want to do here.
Please, let me land. Values that, for example, history was cancelled from the schools. If you don't know your history, you don't know your past, how can you define your future? How can? History was cancelled by Nigeria from Nigerian schools.
Who cancelled it?
Of course, Yoruba land. And a lot of things that are happening are not, like I told you, Moteco people are not allowed to carry AK-47 and other grades of weapons. These are interferences in our system that will not allow us to come out the way we want to come out. It does not still exonerate the fact that our traditional rulers themselves and our leaders in Yoruba land are compromised. For example, the traditional rulers, some of them are giving cows by these Fulani people. They are giving cows, and that keeps them quiet. And the Fulani people, those marauders, give them money. So you can't see the kings, the obas, really defending us, really standing by us. So all those are the kind of things that have been compromising our values, compromising our ethos, and somehow or the other, stultifying the way we should be moving. The youths now, they say there's something they call kuli or konus or whatever, that they smoke. There are all these people who are cult members all over the whole place. You know, if we are our own nation, there are certain values that we will define, and there are certain enforcements that we will put in place. But the way it is now, everybody is allowed to just do anything that he wants. So far, it does not disturb the government of the day. And if it disturbs the government of the day, they hammer us down. So until we have our own defined border, our borders, until we have our own defined country, until we are totally sovereign and totally independent, we cannot define our values the way we want to. Don't forget, the greatest example of African culture that is surviving in the diaspora, that is surviving out of Africa, is Yoruba culture. The greatest number of African doctors, African engineers, African entrepreneurs outside of Africa are Yoruba people. So there is something of great value in being Yoruba.
Yes.
But for us to fully express it, it must be within a defined border. Now look at it. We intend, once we get our Yoruba nation, to form a commonwealth of Yoruba nations, because Yoruba are in 26 countries outside of Africa that are indigenous to those places and are not Nigerians. We can talk about Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Colombia,
Mexico,
Cuba, Jamaica. Yorubas are there, and they are not Nigerians. They are indigenous. So we intend to be able to keep these values that you're talking about, to set up a commonwealth of Yoruba nations that will define over 250 to 300 Yoruba in worldwide. So that
you need a leadership to guide into. You see, sorry that I'm going, because I don't want us to take too much time discussing the politics of it, even though it is important. The politics is important, but I don't want us to spend so much time. I'm thinking of the here and now, the reality we live in presently, and I want to address that. But let me just announce that this is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 103.7 FM, reaching you from our studios live in Wasimi. And my guests are here, architect Akinola George, and evangelist Adekunle Adeshokon. So, and they are social activities. They are social. I describe them as socio-cultural activities. They are warriors. You know, they represent, you know, the best of Yoruba traditions and institutions, and they have a dream for Yoruba land, which we all understand. But within what where we are living now, within the geography called Nigeria now, within the political sphere called Nigeria now, certain things are happening and we need to address them. And we're looking at the leadership, we're looking at values of the Yoruba and how they can still, within this space, still model something for the rest of the country. So we'll be right back. We're going on a short break. When we come back, we will take a few calls. We'll take a few calls because the subject, if you look at the time now, we've gone past 1 hour, and it's just incredible how quickly time flies when you are discussing such serious subjects. So we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation and give people an opportunity to make 1 or 2 calls to join in. So after the break.
Tell me more.
Hello, what station are you listening to right now?
What?
This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio. The best sports, the best station.
Yeah! Crank up the radio!
The best for you.
Welcome back. This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 90 minutes with mathematical. We are discussing the security situation or insecurity in this part of the country. We are taking this part of the country, the Southwest, because it usually models for positive developments for the rest of the country. And I'm just looking at this part. If this part can get it right, then the others can borrow a leave from it. So the telephone number is 0700 2255 1037. The second number is 081 27828497. We don't want to offend any sensibilities, so that we can continue discussing and finding ways out of this issue. We will respect everybody's opinion. The Yorubas have not formed a consensus on so many things. When you look around the world, when you even look around Nigeria, you find that some of the most successful people, particularly in certain areas, they are Yorubas. But they are working as individuals, not as a collective. Even what we are saying here today, we know that we have the human capacity, we have the human resources to resolve some of these issues, but we are not even forming a consensus on what to do. Here we are, there is a storm just at our doorstep, and we are not providing the answers, which is what I am really, really interested in this morning. So let me go back to Evangelist. Evangelist, what do we do now, today? If we say, let us go away, it's not possible now, today. There's a process. There are people who disagree, and all of that. But we're saying now, today, it's at our doorsteps. What do we do to arrest the present situation, the storm that is coming? What do we do? Evangelist, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a problem that has already given an answer by itself.
Okay.
Because when somebody come to your house looking at you directly from the eye and slap your wife, nobody will tell you what to do. You know what exactly you can do immediately. In this case, I think I will categorize our politician as a deaf who doesn't listen, who doesn't hear anything, until when we decide to take the bull by the horn. We will return back to the table, just like we did before. When we because Yorùbá ní bí Yorùbá lè kó mọ ọkàn ọmọ ìyá ẹ̀, ọba kan ò ní rí bá. Until when we pull our politicians by their ears, they won't listen. They were the one who is misguiding our people. They are the one. Our politicians are the one misguiding our people. Until when we decide to take them on, then we will be able to find our way. We will be able to navigate our way to secure ourselves. That is all.
So we are talking about leadership. If we have the right leadership, somebody to guide the Yoruba through this very difficult, period we are going through, shouldn't that be our focus now, to ensure we get the right kind of leadership, not the leadership of, corruption, the leadership of immorality, the leadership of fraud and illegality, but we get the correct. My father used to tell me, that, look, if you want the correct leader for Yoruba land, 1, it is not the richest man. 2, it is not the most popular man. 3, is not the most powerful man. It's not the one that the most read one with the greatest education. You don't look for all of that. And really, you don't elect him. That the leadership emerges from the Omoluabi values and ethos. That you see the person will come out. He is correct in his conduct and character. He doesn't have to have money. He is correct in his vision. He promotes the institutions that represent the best values of the Yoruba. That's where the leadership is. It's not in who has money to spend, to bribe, to do those things. Don't you think that for now, we have an opportunity where we can start to elect the right leaders that will do the real things, our dreams, because we have to go political whether we like it or not. The best for us. George Akinola.
I don't think it's a leadership problem.
Okay.
I think the solution lies in structure. It's more of a structural, institutional issue rather than an individual or a leadership thing. We were lucky to have Obafemi Awolowo, and he established an institution. He defined a structure that was able to take us to the heavens, so to say, from 1951 to 1959, and even beyond, when he handed over to Akintola up to 1965. So what we should be aiming at is to redefine our values, as we said earlier, in a structure. We must restructure ourselves. And
who will do the structuring? Who will do the restructuring? Who will do the restructuring? I don't understand. I don't understand that.
Nigerian restructuring, not that nonsense. No. I'm talking about a Yoruba structure which is encapsulated in a sovereign, independent, non-aligned Yoruba nation. That's what I mean by structure. And when that structure is wrapped around institutions, institutions of leadership, institutions of no corruption. For example, I'll give you examples of 5 countries.
Just hold on a minute. We have a call. Just hold your thought. We have a caller. I want to take 1 or 2 calls so that they can guide us into, the conversation. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, who do we have? Where are you calling from?
This is Shagun from Ikorodu.
Okay, Shagun from Ikorodu. Go ahead.
Now, I want to differ or disagree a bit from your guest that's just speaking now.
Okay.
Now, what do I mean? No matter how the structures are strong, if the leaders of the individual structures are weak and pan towards the political leader, the negative influence from the political leader will flow to the leaders of the structure, and they will weaken and destroy that structure to pan towards the political leader. And that is the major reason why today Nigeria has weak structures but strong men. And that is a major problem. If I'm to give an example, I'll just give it straight off from the head, years of Wiki. That the structures had made him strong, and he has become a stronger man than the structure. And we see what he is doing in the nation. Another thing is we Yorubas, unlike Yorunu, because the leadership comes from the followership, and the followership determines the leadership. When many of us think during election that I want to form and they take that and they vote the wrong people, that is what is killing the Yoruba land or the Yoruba nation. Even if we have a defined territory, we will not speak with one voice. That is when you will now begin to say Ijebunemi Ebanye, and that is our problem. We have to do social re-engineering first. Then from there we can then begin to pick credible leaders that meet the criteria you just spoke about. That is when we can then move to the next level of defending ourselves.
Thank you.
See, one of the speakers said something about the Amotekun. Yes, I noticed some recruitment of Amotekun. Even some of the people that they've employed cannot even do the job of security, let alone now having a weakened ammunition array. Look, let me stop here.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very, very much for your contribution. Well, George, you listen to him. Unlike you, he doesn't think it is the structure, he thinks it's the leadership of some sort. Which comes first, the structure or the leadership? Anyway, go ahead with your thoughts.
The structure. See, if we have a new nation now, the first thing to do is to set up a constituent assembly.
How do you have a new nation now?
Define how the country should be structured.
How do you have a new nation now? You can't have a new nation now. That's the reality of it.
I'm being how do I put it now? I'm trying to lay an example. An institution a nation survives when you build strong institutions instead of strong individuals. So when you have the correct institutions in place, you'll be able to, that institution will make sure that certain people do not enter. And that institution, or whatever it is that you have built as a structure, will ensure that certain people qualify. So that is the importance of building a structure.
Okay.
As a trained architect, I know that you cannot just put a building on the ground without first of all defining.
Okay.
As an architect, you have to lay out the spaces. Then the engineer works out the structure and everything.
Okay. Okay. Hold you up. Let's take this second call. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Bishop.
Yes. Who is this? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Adigbe.
Adigbe. Okay. What's your name, sir?
Alaji Mojid.
Alaji Mojid. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah. The topic this morning is a very interesting one. You see, like your guest speaker said, the major challenge we have in Nigeria is structural or systemic, if you like. It's not informed by personalities, and that has been proved over the years that no matter who steers the ship, the structure he has been forced to work with will rubbish all the values he has. The present president is a very good case in point. We all know Ashwaji Tinubu to be a Democrat. In fact, he said it on this ago that he's a die-hard Democrat. And he has been in the trenches. He has told us how Nigeria is supposed to move forward. He's a very strong advocate of restructuring, devolution of power. But, things have not really turned the way Nigerians expect, because the structure he inherited is still what he's working with. And until this structure is changed, what we call devolution, or running a two-federal structure. You see, Baba Olowo, God bless his soul, he has given us the right template. Olowo told us that Nigeria is just a geographical expression, meaning that it is not a nation yet, because Nigeria as it was and it is presently lacks those elements or increments or incidents that make a nation truly a nation. So if you must move forward, we have to follow the template Baba gave us.
Very
and
good.
we all know Yoruba. I've always been the vanguard of all that is good. Like this year said, we are the model in terms of politics, economy, sport, medicine, law, accounting, name it. So the president we have now, being from us, live and let's live. Life more abundant. Anything short of this, if you continue to engage in this 4-year ritual of changing president.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think we have lost you there. The signals are poor, but you have made your point. And at the end of the day, we are all, individuals. Which comes first? Is the structure or the system or the leadership? It's like, chicken and the egg. Which comes first? Both of them are important. Anyway, let me just go to Evangelist because he's been listening in very quietly there now. And as we start the countdown to the end, we must be thinking solution. I live in this environment. I stay in a rural place, in a Wekuru local government area. And I see what is happening. And I know that the divisions amongst the Yoruba, even in that small community, the divisions are frightening. You mentioned some of them. Even within that community, they will say this one is Owu, this one is Bagura, this one is this one is that. And it just goes on and on and on and on. Even amongst the Yorubas, you cannot find the consensus. As individuals, they do so well. But collectively, as a group, it is not so. People are still collecting bribes and taking money for this, for that. Even within those local communities, what is influencing them are not the values that we are talking about here now. And this is amongst the Yoruba. So we cannot be pointing fingers when even internally we are not doing the right things. But okay, Evangelist, over to you, your thoughts as we start our round now.
Well, the Yoruba way of life imply that system.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that we are not friendly to ourselves. Either we can be separated by natural land, but deep down we are for ourselves. Yoruba are not so separate too. Take for instance in the life of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Call the loyalty of Chief Obafemi Awolowo cut across the Southwest. I will score 75%. That's the kind of leader we are talking about.
Exactly.
The leader that will win the heart of more than average. That's the kind of leadership we are talking about. Awo did not go to Ekiti. He did not go to Bokoda. He did not go anywhere to campaign himself. He was just accepted by the people generally. And when you look at it from Chief Obafemi Awolowo, he passed it on to Chief Ajasin, from Ajasin. Just even Abraham Adesanya enjoying this loyalty of the Yoruba people.
Yeah.
Cut across. Just unfortunately, we lost that chain of leadership along the line. So that is the kind of building structure that Akinola is referring to. That it was because the Egbe Omo Yoruba that metamorphosed to Afenifere then was so strong. That is why we are able to have chain of leadership who people accepted.
Very good.
That's the kind of structure Akinola was talking about. And until we go back to that level, to build a varied structure that people will accept the leadership that are coming up from that structure. So we are not getting it right. So that is exactly what Akinola is talking about. So the case of Wuni, Egbani, Bagurani, Hong Kong, we cannot fault that. even I want to tell you, Wasimi, that Wasimi where you are.
You're welcome. You know you are Adeshokon. So yes, my brothers are there now. The Adeshokon family, they are there. We are all there.
Anyway.
And we are waiting for you.
So that is just the simple arithmetic of the whole structure. If we can put up the good structure, like when Afenifere was divided into two, we have Afenifere original, we have Afenifere linear. We look into the ways to rematch them together. We cannot find this today. Is it because of what? It's not because they want to answer name, because the politician has checked in. The money matter has checked in. That is why that division was so sharp that we are unable to merge it together again. So those are the things. Until we find out when OPC broke into two, we cannot merge them again. It's because of money and politician. It is the politician. So
the problem lies in us. The problem lies inside us. Inside doors. And when you look at it very well, your own friend, your good friend, that you are working to, you are moving, you are doing everything all together. If he has an appointment, political appointment today, he may be guiding, he may be doing some kind of, but deep down in his heart, he's no longer with you. Deep down his heart, he's no longer with you. That is the kind of people we are. So then when Afenifere was in control, political offices was also in control. Because in their small gathering, they can remove you. They can fix you. They can remove you. That is what we are asking for. Yoruba need a Southwest Region Assembly where we can determine who go for one office and the other. That's it. Thank you, sir. Well, last words from you. Architect, last words from you. Just your final thoughts as we go away. Something that people can take away with wherever they are listening to us around the world. Just your final thoughts so that they take this away from
quickly, yes. On the issue of values and on the issue of structure and building institutions, I think that those are the roads to travel. I was talking about certain things the other time, and I wanted to give you 5 examples, 5 countries that have gotten it right and what they did. And I mentioned China, Japan, Israel, Rwanda, and one other country, How did they get it right? Singapore, yes. Singapore is the 5th one. What they did was that they instituted certain things. Number 1, education, 100% education. Number 2, they gave zero tolerance for corruption. Zero tolerance. You cheat, you steal, you die. Number 3, they gave serious attention to high tech, artificial intelligence, robotics, and all those kind of things. They gave serious attention to all those ones. Number 4, education. Everybody must be educated, or you can't survive in this world when you don't even know where you're going. So you must be highly educated. There must be 100% education for everybody all over the country. Those things, along with a strong military, along with a very strong military, will ensure that your values are not compromised, your institutions are not vandalized or destroyed, and it will ensure that whoever comes up will always be somebody that will make that country a pride to its citizens. That's why China, Singapore, Rwanda, Israel, and the other countries that I gave, that's why they will continue to excel. They will continue to excel because those values are there. Thank you.
Wow. This is food for thought. I want to use this opportunity to thank both of you for your contributions this morning. The subject is inexhaustible. We cannot exhaust it, particularly in a short program such as this. But you have raised issues that I'm sure a lot of people will go home and start to think about. We haven't provided any solutions. We don't have the answers. But somewhere along the line, we are all learning bit by bit, day by day. And we hope that in the end, we shall put up structures. We shall put up structures that will help us to identify the kind of leaders that we need who will guide us. Even if we have a jumbo plane, as beautiful as it may be, if we don't have the right pilot to pilot that plane to safety, it will crash. So we are truly, truly looking forward to a time when we have Yorubas who would be exemplary in conduct and in character. They don't have to be rich, they don't have to be famous, they don't have to be anything, but they must provide the leadership like Chief Obafemi Awolowo to guide the rest of us into a world that is going to be truly, truly beautiful, that will become a model for the rest of the country so that we can have peace in this country. On the 25th of March this year, Wednesday, 25th of March, one of the last surviving, genuinely Omoluabi character of Yoruba land, a complete gentleman, a hero of this country, a former military head, a civil war hero, and I'm talking about General Alani Akinrinade. You know, one of those, when he speaks, he's one of the very few left in Yoruba land. When he speaks, you take him seriously. He's going to address the issue of insecurity in the Southwest. The title of his little conversation is, what is it now? The Politics of Security and the Security of Politics Before the Storm Arrives, Yoruba Land. He's going to address this subject in Abeokuta at the June 12 Cultural Center. It's going to be a dialogue. People are going to come and ask questions, and he's going to provide answers and provide the kind of leadership, guide us into the leadership of the future that we would need in the southwest of Nigeria so that we can become example for the rest of the country. That is on Wednesday, March 25, 2026. It is a product of Afenifere Renewal Group Ogun State chapter, and I'm the coordinator of that. So you join us on that day. That's all we're going to have this morning. I thank you all for participating. Thank you, Architect Akinola. Thank you so very much. George Akinola George. Thank you. You have this, what's that other name? Yolikon.
Oluwa George Akinola.
Oluwa George.
Oluwa.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And of course, the evangelist is there, Adeshokon, my brother, who comes also from Wasimi. Have a great...
Thank you very much. Just before we leave,
yes.
I want to send my sincere condolence to our coach.
Oh yes.
And I want to greet the entire football family for losing such a wonderful one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Chief burial program. And of course, we have called on the Nigerian government, the Nigeria Football Federation, the Nigeria Sports Commission, and so on and so forth, that they should immortalize that gentleman's name and, works. So on that note, once again, Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 103.7 FM. Join us again next week, Saturday, when we bring you another edition. Bye for now.
Bye.
What do you think of the